Okay, I'm hearing from fangirls. Just so you know, I'm not going to put this out until afterwards because I have so many questions like that. Well, I actually have two questions that I want uh, spoilers to. But what made you guys decide to do based on a true story? And is it because you have a fascination with true crime podcasts?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. We're both completely fascinated with it. We both listen to all the podcasts, listen to all the, or watch all the shows. But what made me personally get involved with it is I read the script and I was head over heels for it. I knew that it was a project I wanted to do. And then when they told me who the cast was, it's like, I mean, it's a given. You can't pass
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah, it certainly felt very challenging. I haven't really dipped my toes a lot in comedy, and getting to work with like some of the greatest actors in comedy, I was like, oh man, like what better way to sink my teeth into something like this.
Yeah.
And the scripts are just amazing. I mean, we were talking earlier about how tonally it's just so clear. There's such a strong voice even in the scripts, and I think that translates really well into the show.
I like the show for me is nothing like anything I've ever seen before. Like I
Yeah.
was a little confused at times. I was like, wait a second, what's happening here? Like when Ruby, like when Ruby is murdered, I thought she was dead. And then when they go to the tennis court, I'm like, crap, she's alive. And then I like literally jumped out of my skin. I fell off my chair. I was like, holy cow. And it was like so that whole thing with with the show just being everywhere and anywhere, it's kind of one of those things that with Ruby, for example, do you think that she still would have gone through doing the right thing if she knew she had was getting murdered because of it, or if anyone knew, if she knew that people were onto her?
I would say that she would probably have changed her narrative had she known that she was going to be murdered. I hope. I would hope that she would not do anything to purposely get murdered.
She's like, I'm going down.
I'm
I don't
going for
care.
it. Balls to the wall.
Super
She kind of
dedicated.
felt like that. I mean, both your characters kind of felt like that, though, that it was like, balls to the wall. Once you get to know them a little, like they kind of just felt like each one felt like they had a, Tori felt like she had a hidden agenda that I still haven't figured out. Like if there's a season 2, I kind of wondering, like, is Tori like a secret like crime podcast aficionado, and is she like, was she involved in like, is she setting her sister up for failure, and is she like murdering people too? Because like
Whoa.
that's what I
Bless
do.
Excuse
you.
me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Wow, that's such an interesting theory that I love to hear.
That'd be so good.
I'll have to send this to our showrunner and give him suggestions for another season. Honestly, when you receive any script or role, you really just want to play it as truthful as possible and try to justify every choice you make, no matter how hard that might be. So if that is the case, that would be so crazy cool to get to explore like what those motives would be. I do think that Tori in her own way, very similar to Ruby, is an obstacle for Ava and Nathan, but as of now it feels quite unintentional just because she's left a little bit out of the loop. She's not, at least that we know of, like aware of what Nathan and Ava are doing. But I like that theory. That's pretty cool. She's a smart girl,
Your
so maybe.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be very honest with you. Like, so the last time I interviewed you was for If I Stay, and so
Oh
it's
my
been
gosh.
quite some time.
Wow.
And so like I still see you as like I was like, oh, Tori, sweet and innocent character, and then that last scene comes, and I was like, oh no, no, not so sweet and innocent. She's a vixen underneath. But like, what was the most challenging part for both of you to play like in this whole series?
For me,
Because
I
I
would
feel like
say,
it's a departure.
for
Sorry,
me,
I
I
was just
would,
gonna say I feel like I'm so sorry. I'm being quiet. I promise.
No,
no, no, no, no, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say for both of you, I feel like it's such a departure from the roles that I know you of as.
Mhm.
Um, I would say for me, the hardest part was actually the physicality. My character, this airs after, right? Can I do
Yes.
spoilers?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So my character during her death scene, I mean, I'm filthy. I'm covered in dirt. They literally got a bag of dirt and threw it on my face for that scene. I have like fake blood all over me. So I had to go in like the middle of the day and just take a shower, and I could not get everything off of me. So there were so many hours where I was just filthy and unable to move because it dries on you and it gets stuck in your hair and your eyes and stuff. But that's the fun part of acting for me, is the physicality. And then we have that stunt scene with the shovel. So I would say it got a little bit hard on my body for a bit there, but that's also the work that I'm happiest to do and the most proud of.
Yeah, I
You
think
did a good job at it.
Thank you.
Comedically, it was felt very uncharted for me. I am not used to doing comedy as much, and it felt very exciting and challenging to try. And before meeting Kaylee, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to work with like a comedic genius. And then you meet her, and her energy is just so chill and so fun, and she immediately like eases your mind. But yeah, it did feel like a bit of a venture for me, just in terms of genre.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I absolutely love the show. I can't wait for everyone to see it. But you guys as characters were really like, I laughed a lot. I also jumped a lot, but I laughed a lot. So I really appreciate it. But have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you so much.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.